Black rain on the parish road, red mud beneath the cross. The chapel doors were open, but every prayer was lost. Cain ruled Hollow Ridge. From a chapel built to stone, he spoke of fire on Sunday and collected debts alone. Every farmer paid in tribute, every widow signed her land. Those who questioned holy business disappeared beneath his hand. There were graves without inscriptions near the orchard by the creek, and a bell that rang at midnight, though the tower had been weak. Then one evening Mara Whitlock rode in wearing funeral black, with her father's empty Bible and a shotgun on her back. The devil wears a collar when the righteous look away. Every sermon hides a shadow when the preacher owns the grave. There was blood on the parish road, fire underneath the rain. Every lie the chapel buried came crawling back again. There was blood on the parish road, bells screaming through the night. When a holy man builds power, even heaven fears the price. Mara entered during service while the congregation prayed. She laid 12 missing portraits where the silver offering lay. My father came to question you, my brother vanished too. Every family in this valley has lost someone because of you. Reverend Cain kept smiling, said grief can poison what you see. Then the oldest churchyard keeper rose and handed her a key. It opened up the cellar underneath the chapel floor. There were ledgers, rings and clothing, and dried blood beside the door. Every name had land beside it, every death had bought him grain. He had built his holy kingdom out of hunger, fear and pain. The devil wears a collar when the righteous look away. Every sermon hides a shadow when the preacher owns the grave. There was blood on the parish road, fire underneath the rain. Every lie the chapel buried came crawling back again. There was blood on the parish road, bells screaming through the night. When a holy man builds power, even heaven fears the price. Cain pulled iron from his Bible and aimed it at her head. He said, your father begged for mercy before I left him dead. Mara's finger found the trigger, but her mother crossed the aisle. She whispered, don't become his mirror, let the whole town see him try. Then Cain fired through the chapel and the stained glass shattered red. The churchyard keeper took the bullet and fell bleeding by the steps. The congregation rose like thunder, every pew became a wall. For the first time Reverend Cain stood alone before them all. They dragged him through the doorway to the road beneath the rain. Every widow named a husband, every mother spoke her pain. Mara found her father's signet in the pocket of his coat. For 1 second all she wanted was her vengeance at his throat. She raised the gun toward heaven the chapel steeple, and the flames began to speak. He reached the wooden crossing where the rotten beams gave way. The river took the preacher before dawn could judge the day. No one called it holy justice, no one praised the way he died. They had spent too many winters letting righteousness disguise. There was blood on the parish road, fire underneath the rain. Every lie the chapel buried came crawling back again. There was blood on the parish road, bells screaming through the night. When a holy man builds power, even heaven fears the pride. Blood on the parish road, 12 graves opened at first light. Truth arrived in smoking sorrow, but it could not make things right. There was blood on the parish road where the blackened chapel stood. They tore his name from every doorway, but still smelled him in the wood. Gray dawn on the parish road, 12 crosses by the creek. The chapel bell fell silent, but the dead had learned to speak. Red smoke over Hollow Ridge, black horses in the rain. A widow crossed the county line with 3 graves in her name. Red Hollow, 7 winters long ago, after Shaw took everything her family used to own. Shaw controlled the cattle market, owned the sheriff and the bank. Every farmer signed his papers or woke choking in the flames. And his husband fought the order, said their land would never sell.
3 nights later, men in masks turned their farmhouse into hell.
Her 2 sons were found at sunrise near the ashes of the barn.
Etta crawled out through a window with their blood across her arms.
Every widow keeps a fire when the law refuses flame. Every grave becomes a witness when corruption owns the name. Here comes the widow of Red Hollow,
black veil cutting through the rain.
Every rider knows a sorrow,
every bullet knows her name.
Here comes the widow of Red Hollow,
hear the dead beneath her boots.
You can burn a family's kingdom,
but the ashes keep the truth.
She rode straight into the tavern where Shaw's cattlemen would drink.
Laid 3 shells upon the counter, then she ordered something neat.
Old bartender Amos Turner watched her through his clouded eye.
He had seen the masked men riding on the night her children died.
From beneath a broken floorboard,
he removed a leather book.
Every bribe and stolen property, every farm that Calder took.
There were payments to the sheriff, orders written in Shaw's hand,
and the names of 20 families forced or murdered for their land.
It had closed the bloody ledger, said tonight the county lands.
Amos answered, truth is powder, choose what stands when it all burns. Every widow keeps a fire when the law refuses flame.
Every grave becomes a witness when corruption owns the name.
Here comes the widow of Red Hollow,
Black veil cutting through the rain.
every rider knows the sorrow.
Every bullet knows her name.
Here comes the widow of Red Hollow.
Hear the dead beneath her boots,
You can burn a family's kingdom,
but the ashes keep the truth.
Calder waited at his mansion with 12 rifles by the gate. He said,
Your husband chose his ending.
your boys inherited his fate.
Etta lifted up the ledger while the lightning split the night.
Then explain your name and signature. Beneath each farm you set a light.
The sheriff reached to take it, but his deputy drew first.
He had found his father's acreage listed underneath the cursed.
The ranch hands lowered rifles one by one into the mud,
Calder shot the young deputy.
and the courtyard answered blood.
Hit a fight through Calder's shoulder, spun him backward through the door.
Then the widows of the county came like thunder to the porch.
Every woman carried pictures,
Every farmer carried deeds.
every family had been buried under Calder's wealth and greed.
They dragged him toward the stable where her husband's breath still hung.
Etta wrapped the rope around him while he begged with silver tongue.
For one breath she saw her children standing barefoot in the flames.
Then she heard her youngest whisper,
Don't let him decide your name.
she cut the rope and faced the people.
He will answer in the light.
But Calder kicked the fallen lantern.
And the haystack caught the night.
Fire climbed the mansion wall.
Horses screamed and then withdrew.
Calder ran back for his fortune, and the burning rafters flew.
There went the widow of Red Hollow.
Black veil glowing in the flame,
Every rider knew her sorrow.
but revenge had changed her name.
There went the widow of Red Hollow, with the ledger and the truth,
Calder died beneath his kingdom.
buried by the wealth he used.
There went the widow of Red Hollow.
Past 3 crosses in the rain,
She had broken Calder's empire.
but no victory killed the pain.
There went the widow of Red Hollow.
While the mansion turned to coal,
Justice saved the stolen valley.
but it could not make her whole.
Great dawn over Hollow Ridge.
3 roses by the lane,
A widow left the county line.
and never spoke her name.
Iron wheels through Widow's Run. Black rain across the pines. 7 chains inside the coach. 7 men without a trial. Marshal Gideon Russ drove prisoners through the mountains after dark. No courthouse ever saw them, no confession bore a mark. He called them thieves and killers, then collected county gold. But beneath the prison wagon, other contracts had been sold. Mine owners paid him double for the bodies he delivered. capital knew their names. Every chain around a stranger added acreage to Rusk's estate. When the law becomes a business, every badge can hide a knife. When a man is priced in silver, someone profits from his life. Here comes the black coach through Widow's Run. I'm screaming in the rain. Every wheel is carrying someone who will never see his name. Here comes the black coach through Widow's Run. Hear the shackles strike the floor. When corruption drives the horses, death is waiting at the door. Jonah Flynn had ridden with them until the spring of '93. Rusk had framed him for a robbery and sold him to the Eastern Quarry. 5 years breaking stone in darkness, left one eye and half a hand. He escaped beneath the landslide with another prisoner's tag. Now he waited in the timber where the road became a ledge, with 3 widows from the valley and a rifle at the edge. Each had lost a son or husband to the coach that crossed at night. They had begged the judge for answers, he had barred them from the sight. When the law becomes a business, every badge can hide a knife. When a man is priced in silver, someone profits from his life. Here comes the black coach through Widow's Run. I'm screaming in the rain. Every wheel is carrying someone who will never see his name. Here comes the black coach through Widow's Run. Hear the shackles strike the floor. When corruption drives the horses, death is waiting at the door. Above the driver, horses reared against the storm. One guard tumbled from the mountain, one went reaching for his home. The widows cut the rear lock open, 7 prisoners hit the mud. Then Rusk stepped down behind them with his silver badge in blood. He smiled at Jonah's ruined hand. You should have died beneath that stone. Jonah answered, every man you buried made sure I came back home. Rusk fired first through Jonah's shoulder. Jonah's rifle answered twice. The marshal fell beside the wagon, staring upward at the lightning. Jonah stood above the body, rage still hammering his chest. He could end the man who sold him, give the mountain what was left. Then a prisoner named Thomas raised the marshal's leather case. Inside were deeds and payment ledges, every victim, every place. Jonah lowered down the rifle. Dead men never face a sentence. Tie him where he tied the others. Let the daylight hear confession. They chained Rusk inside the wagon with the guards who still survive. Then they drove toward Broward County as the eastern sky went white. But the wounded marshal whispered to the guard beside his knee. The guard kicked loose the brake line near the bridge above the creek. The black coach struck the railing, iron shattered, horses screamed. Jonah pulled 3 men to safety before the wagon left the street. Rusk and both corrupted guardsmen vanished in the flooded gorge. The ledgers floated down the river, but one widow saved them all. There went the black coach through Widow's Run, iron burning in the rain. Every wheel had carried someone, every mile concealed a name. There went the black coach through Widow's Run, shackles broken on the floor. When corruption drove the horses, judgment waited at the door. There went the black coach through Widow's Run, down beneath the river foam. 7 prisoners saw the sunrise, but not every man came home. There went the black coach through Widow's Run, and the county learned the cost. lost. Justice came through blood and thunder, but it could not raise the lost. No wheels through Widow's Run, only rain across the pines. 7 chains hang in the courthouse, beside 7 written names. One snake beneath the floorboards, 2 riders on the ridge. Black smoke above the wheat fields, red water under the bridge. Rattlesnake Hill belonged to Harlan Creed. At least that's what his papers claimed. He taxed the rain, he taxed the harvest. He put a price on every grave. When farmers failed to meet his number, Creed's riders came before the dawn. They took the cattle, burned the houses, and nailed eviction to the barn. Young Jacob Hale had watched them murder his father near the county line. His mother died the following winter, still clutching that eviction sign. Jacob left with blood behind him, swore he'd never cross that hill. But 12 long years of rage and whiskey never taught his hands to still. Every field remembers fire, every fence remembers hands. When a tyrant taxes breathing, blood becomes the final payment. Pay the blood tax on Rattlesnake Hill, 1 black coin and 1 last will. Every acre, every grave feeds the mouth that never fills. Pay the blood tax on Rattlesnake Hill, hear the iron, hear it ring. When the poor have nothing left, they come to collect from the king. Jacob rode back during harvest with a scar beneath his eye. He found the town half empty, found the churchyard twice its size. At the general store, Ruth Carter slid a ledger through the grain. It showed every false assessment, every bribe and every name. Creed had paid the county judge, had bought the sheriff's loyalty. He claimed abandoned farms as payment, then sold the land to companies. Ruth said, my husband fought them, they left him hanging from a tree. They called it legal execution, they made our children watch with me. Jacob closed the leather ledger, heard his father in the wind. He said, tonight we end the taxes. Ruth replied, then count the dead first. Every field remembers fire, every fence remembers hands. When a tyrant taxes breathe and blood becomes the final payment. Pay the blood tax on Rattlesnake Hill, 1 black coin and 1 last will. Every acre, every grave feeds the mouth that never fills. Pay the blood tax on Rattlesnake Hill, hear the iron, hear it ring. When the poor have nothing left, they come to collect from the king. Creed held court inside his mansion with 12 gunmen at the gate. He said, the law has made me wealthy, God rewards the men who take. Jacob threw the ledger forward, then read the names beneath your boots. Creed laughed and raised his pistol. Dead men never argue truth. Ruth fired fired through the chandelier. Darkness swallowed marble halls. Farmers stormed the eastern doorway. Rifles answered through the walls. The sheriff turned against Creed when he found his brother's name. Creed had seized his family homestead while he wore the county badge. Then the mansion window shattered and the oil lamps kissed the floor. Flames climbed up the velvet curtains as the gunmen fled the war. Jacob found Creed in the cellar with the county gold in sacks. Behind him stood a row of rifles and a tunnel through the back. Creed aimed first and struck Booth's shoulder. Jacob answered through the smoke. The bullet tore across Creed's body, drove him hard against the stones. Jacob stood above the tyrant, rage demanding one last shot. He saw his father by the doorway, saw the grave his mother got. Creed whispered, "Kill me, Hale. You came for vengeance, not the law." Jacob lowered down the rifle. "You will hear each name you bought." They dragged him to the courthouse while the mansion burned behind. Every widow read a sentence, every child described a crime. But before the state could take him, Creed's remaining riders came. They opened fire across the square and turned the courthouse into flame. Ruth survived beside the fountain. Jacob felt protecting her. Creed was crushed beneath the bell tower when the burning rafters turned. They pay the blood tax on Rattlesnake Hill with broken bones and iron wheels. Every acre, every grave had fed the mouth that never filled. They paid the blood tax on Rattlesnake Hill. Heard the courthouse bell stop ringing when the poor had nothing left. They tore the crown away from the king. They paid the blood tax on Rattlesnake Hill. But no rebellion leaves men clean. Creed was dead, the farms were free, and Jacob never saw the spring. They paid the blood tax on Rattlesnake Hill. Ruth rebuilt the county hall. She carved the names of every family into one black granite wall. One snake beneath the floorboards, no riders on the ridge. The green weed above the ashes, clear water under the bridge. Oh. Rattlesnake Hill belonged to Harlan Creed. At least that's what his papers claimed. He taxed the rain, he taxed the harvest. He put a price on every grave. When farmers failed to meet his number, Creed's riders came before the dawn. They took the cattle, burned the houses, and nailed eviction to the bond. Young Jacob Hale had watched the clock stopped dead at midnight. The church bell cracked in two. Red lightning crossed the graveyard, and every blackbird flew. Gravesend stood beyond the mountains where the railroad lost its name, built with timber from a village that the founding fathers burned in flame. They called the dead old rebels, said the army cleared the lane. Then they raised a courthouse over where the bodies still remain. Four families ruled the valley, on the bank the mill and law. Every Every child was taught their version, every witness learned to fall. But one survivor left the ashes, just a boy with blinded eyes. 30 years later, Gideon Cross came riding underneath black skies. A town can paint its history, but blood comes through the stain. Every lie becomes a doorway when the buried speak again. This is the last night of gravesand. Hear the black bell split the sky. Every house built over dead men will remember how they died. This is the last night of gravesand. Fire walking street to street. When a town is born from murder, judgment rises through its feet. Gideon entered the old courthouse with a map beneath his coat. It showed tunnels from the graveyard to the mansions on the slope. In the basement, chained in iron, stood the railroad's wooden chest. Inside were orders from the founders and the names they had erased. Mayor Thorne arrived with gunmen, Judge Bellamy and Reverend Shaw. They had fathers in the ledger, every signature in law. Thorne said, dead men own no country. What was taken made us strong. Gideon answered, then your children have been living on the wrong. The judge commanded his arrest. The preacher raised a silver cross, but the youngest town deputy read his own grandfather's loss. A town can paint its history, but blood comes through the stain. Every lie becomes a doorway when the buried speak again. This is the last night of gravesand. Hear the black bell split the sky. Every house built over dead men will remember how they died. This is the last night of gravesand. Fire walking street to street. When a town is born from murder, judgment rises through its feet. The deputy rang the warning bell. The gunmen opened fire. The windows burst along the square, and the records caught the flame. Gideon fought through smoke and timber, dragged the ledger from the hall. Mayor Thorne escaped on horseback toward the old memorial wall. The ground began to open where the railroad tracks had crossed. Bones rose white beneath the rainfall, showing graves and what it cost. Then the preacher faced the people, shaking underneath the storm. Our fathers built this town through murder. We protected what was born. Judge Bellamy shot the preacher before another name was read. The deputy fired through the judge, and both men struck the steps. Gideon found the mayor kneeling at the monument of stone, with a rifle in his right hand and a child held close. Thorne shouted, drop the ledger, or the boy will join the dead. Gideon lowered both his weapons, then the child bit Thorne's hand. The rifle cracked into the darkness. Gideon struck him to the ground. Every family filled the graveyard as the storm came crashing down. They dragged the mayor to the gallows where the founders once had stood. The widows screamed to hang him, and the workers raised the hood. Gideon looked toward the open earth, toward the bones beneath the rain. I came here dreaming of his death, but death won't clean the stain. He cut the rope and faced the crowd. Make him speak before the state. Let him live to name the guilty. Let him carry what they made. But Thorne broke free and charged him with a blade beneath his sleeve. The deputy stepped between them, and the knife went through his ribs. Gideon drove the mayor backward through the burning courthouse door. The roof collapsed around him, and Thorne was seen no more. This was the last night of gravesand, when the black bell split the sky. Every house built over dead men heard the truth they could not hide. This was the last night of gravesand. Fire walked from street to street when a town was born from This was the last night of Gravesend, where the old foundations fell. Gideon carved the stolen names upon the ruins of the bell. The clock moved on by morning through the smoke and falling rain. Gravesend vanished from the map, but the dead regained their names. 3 bells over Mercy Creek, black rain on the courthouse wall. The rope began to swing alone before the night could fall. Came riding in beneath a blood-red moon, with his brother's rusted pocket watch and a rifle wrapped in cloth. 10 years before, young Jonah Rowe was dragged across the square, accused of killing Mayor Vane and hanged without a prayer. Sheriff Crow had read the sentence with a smile beneath his hat, while the judge received a parcel and the pastor turned his back. Jonah's mother died that winter, calling both her sons by name. Elias carried every mile like another link of chain. The dead don't need a witness, but the living need the truth. Every town that feeds on silence eventually eats its youth. At the gallows of Mercy Creek, the black bell calls the damned. Every liar starts to tremble, every sinner shows his hands. At the gallows of Mercy Creek, blood and thunder shake the ground. You can bury every secret, but the rope will turn around. Elias entered Miller's Tavern when the clock was striking 10. Every conversation vanished when they recognized the man. Old May Carter poured him whiskey, then she locked the wooden door. She placed a ledger on the counter stained with smoke and something more. Inside were payments from the mayor, signed by Sheriff Amos Crow. Names of farmers forced from homesteads, names of men who vanished slow. Jonah had discovered everything and planned to testify. So Crow murdered Mayor Vane himself and chose another man to die. Elias closed the leather ledger, felt his vengeance burning bright. He said, before the sun is rising, every name will face the light. The dead don't need a witness, but the living need the truth. Every town that feeds on silence eventually eats its youth. At the gallows of Mercy Creek, the black bell calls the damned. Every liar starts to tremble, every sinner shows his hands. At the gallows of Mercy Creek, blood and thunder shake the ground. You can bury every secret, but the rope will turn around. Crow was waiting by the courthouse with 6 rifles in the rain. He shouted, your brother died a killer, don't make me hang another row again. Elias held the ledger high beneath the lightning's crooked flame. You killed the mayor for his property, then buried Jonah with the blame. The deputy beside the sheriff read his father's name inside. Crow had taken their family farmland, and on the night his mother died. The rifles lowered one by one, but Crow refused to kneel. He fired through the storm at Elias, and the whole town heard the skeal. The bullet tore through Elias' shoulder, spinning him into the mud. The deputy fired back at Crow, painting courthouse steps with blood. Then the church caught fire behind them when the lightning struck the cross. Flames rolled across the rooftops like the town could feel its loss. The people dragged the judge outside and found gold beneath his floor. The pastor opened every grave he had blessed and then ignored. Elias stood beneath the gallows with the sheriff at his feet. He could hear his brother whisper through the rain of Mercy Creek, "Don't become the hand that killed me, don't let hatred choose your name." So Elias left the body and threw the rifle in the flame. At the gallows of Mercy Creek, the black bell called the damned. Every liar stood uncovered, every sinner showed his hands. At the gallows of Mercy Creek, blood and thunder shook the ground. They had buried every secret, but the rope had turned around. At the gallows of Mercy Creek, no one left the night unchanged. Truth arrived with smoke and violence, but it could not heal the pain. At the gallows of Mercy Creek, Jonah's name was carved in stone. Elias won his brother justice, then rode into dawn alone. 3 bells over Mercy Creek, gray smoke above the wall. The rope was cut before sunrise, but its shadow covered all. Six knocks beneath black water, 3 bells above the mine. The mountain breathed like thunder when the clock refused to strike. County with its cold and broken men. Every morning swallowed fathers, every evening spat out 10. Silas Grady on the mountain, on the sheriff, on the store. He paid wages out in tokens that returned through every door. When the western tunnel shifted, 20 miners disappeared. Grady sealed the lower entrance before anyone could hear. He called it earth and bad fortune, then he raised the company flag. But the widow saw him burning blood-stained papers in a bag. Stone remembers every hammer, iron carries every cry. You can seal a mine with timber, but the mountain never lies down in the devil's mine. That black water, the dead keep beating on the wall. Every strike gets louder, louder. Every guilty shadow falls down in the devil's mine. That black water, cold dust covers every crime. You can own the judge and preacher, but you'll never own the mine. Caleb Ward returned that winter with his father's carbide lamp. He had left when he was 17 and joined a railway camp. His His younger brother Samuel had gone missing in the fall. Grady claimed he crossed the border, but his code remained at home. Caleb entered through a shaft the company had tried to hide. Past the timber, past the water, past the name scratched in the side. He found helmets in a circle, 20 lanterns burned to black. In a ledger, in a strong box showing Grady knew the cracks. Every warning had been written, every foreman paid to lie. They had worked those men below because the price of coal was high. Stone remembers every hammer, iron carries every cry. You can seal a mine with timber, but the mountain never lies. Down in the devil's mine at Blackwater, the dead keep beating on the wall. Every strike gets louder, louder, every guilty shadow falls. Down in the devil's mine at Blackwater, coal dust covers every crime. You can own the judge and preacher, but you'll never own the mine. Caleb carried out the ledger as the siren split the night. Grady waited near the tipple with 4 rifles at his side. He said, your father died a drunkard, your brother ran away. Caleb held the lamp between them, I heard Samuel call my name. Then 6 knocks shook the mountain and the ground began to roll. Flames erupted from the main shaft, black smoke swallowed every pole. One guard dropped his weapon, another fell beneath the stone. Grady ran toward the company house, but the widows blocked the road. Caleb raised his father's rifle, Grady knelt beneath the rain. For a moment, 20 funerals were burning through his veins. Then Samuel's voice returned to him, not from vengeance, but below. Don't give that man a quick death, make the whole damn county know. Caleb lowered down the barrel and threw the ledger at his feet. Read their names before their families, say what profit made you keep. Grady tried to buy the sheriff, but the sheriff saw the crowd. Every miner held a hammer, every widow spoke aloud. They chained Grady to the tipple until the state patrol arrived. He confessed before the sunrise, not from guilt but to survive. Then the mountain split behind him and the company house went down. Blackwater lost its livelihood, but truth remained above the ground. Down in the devil's mine at Blackwater, the dead stopped beating on the wall. Every name was read out louder, every company banner fell. Down in the devil's mine at Blackwater, coal dust covered judge and crime. You can own the land and workers, but you'll never own the mine. Down in the devil's mine at Blackwater, 20 crosses faced the sky. Justice came with smoke and ruin, and the town paid twice the price. Down in the devil's mine at Blackwater, Caleb left his lamp behind, where his father and his brother still keep watch beneath the mine. 6 knocks beneath Blackwater, 1 bell above the town. The mountain kept its silence when the final shaft came down. Above Ashen Ford, 1 bell beneath the rain. The hangman pulled his collar high and whispered every name. the gallows since the winter he turned 20. Judge McCall would sign the papers, and the rope was never empty. Thieves and drifters, starving farmers, men who spoke against the court, all were marched across the river to the platform at the fort. Silas never asked a question, never read beyond the charge. He would tighten every knot while the judge collected farms. They paid him with a silver dollar for each body at the dawn. He kept every coin inside a box and every nightmare carried on. The rope remembers every heartbeat, the wood remembers every boot. When a town is built on judgment, even silence bears the fruit. He was the hangman of Ashenford, black hood under a blood-red sky. Every bell became a warning, every rope became a lie. He was the hangman of Ashenford, with the dead beneath his floor. You can serve a crooked kingdom, but the grave will keep the score. Came to watch the morning line. Her young brothers stood in shackles, charged with murder by design. He had found the judge's ledger, showing land and cattle stolen. So McCall accused the boy before the evidence was spoken. Rebecca climbed the wooden railing, held a letter to the crowd. It was signed by 3 old deputies, and she read each sentence loud. Judge McCall ordered her arrested, then commanded Silas pull. But the hangman saw his own name written halfway down the scroll. There were payments for the prisoners, payments for the missing graves, payments made to keep the hangman quiet, useful, and enslaved. The rope remembers every heartbeat, the wood remembers every boot. When a town is built on judgment, even silence bears the fruit. He was the hangman of Ashenford, black hood under a blood-red sky. Every bell became a warning, every rope became a lie. He was the hangman of Ashenford, with the dead beneath his floor. You can serve a crooked kingdom, but the grave will keep the score. Silas dropped the execution lever, but the trapdoor did not fall. He had driven in an iron wedge before the morning call. Judge McCall drew his revolver, shot Rebecca through the side. Then her brother broke the railing, and the courthouse guards divided. Silas threw away his black hood, wrapped the hanging rope around the heavy bell above the platform, and pulled until it thundered down. The sound rolled across the river, through the farms McCall had seized. Every family came running with their documents and deeds. McCall fled into the courthouse where the stolen ledgers burned. Silas followed through the smoke, knowing judgment had returned. The judge stood beside a window with his pistol at a child. He said, "Take another step, and Ashenford will watch her die." Silas raised his empty hands and walked forward through the flame. You made murder into justice, I supplied the rope and shame. McCall fired into his chest, but Rebecca's brother struck the weapon from the judge's fingers as the burning ceiling shook. They dragged McCall into the square where the old gallows remained. Every widow called for hanging, every father screamed a name. Silas, bleeding by the platform, cut the rope before he fell. Don't let murder wear a new face, build a court, not another hell. He was the hangman of Ashenford, black hood under a blood-red sky. Every bell became a warning, every rope exposed a lie. He was the hangman of Ashenford, with the dead beneath his floor. He had served a crooked kingdom, then confessed before them all. He was the hangman of Ashenford, and the town survived the flame. They buried him beside the river, without a title, just his name. He was the hangman of Ashenford, where the gallows stands no more. But when the courthouse bell starts ringing, all the dead still cross the ford. No rope above Ashenford, one bell beneath the rain. The hangman lost his shadow, but the town remembered his name. Black water under Dead Man's Bend, one lantern on the shore. The ferryman heard 3 hollow knocks and opened up the door. Silas Rook had crossed that river since the year his father drowned. He carried farmers, drunks, and widows to the mills outside the town. But after midnight came the wagons with no markings on their sides, driven by the sheriff's brothers with their collars pulled up high. Mayor Voss controlled the timber on the mill and courthouse bell. Any worker asking questions disappeared before he fell.
Silas ferried covered bodies to an island choked with weeds. Voss had threatened Silas's daughter if he ever named their deeds.
The river keeps no records, but the ferryman keeps count. Every secret gains a shadow, every silence gains an amount. Pay the ferryman a Dead Man's Bend, black coins underneath his tongue.
Everybody crossed the water,
Every funeral left unsung. Pay the ferryman a Dead Man's Bend.
hear the iron river roll.
You can drown 1,000 witnesses, but the water knows your soul. Years had passed in darkness when his daughter Eleanor came, wearing city clothes and carrying her mother's maiden name.
She had worked for northern papers, tracking workers lost or killed. Every road led back to Dead Man's Bend, to Voss and to the mill.
She found names beneath the floorboards written in her father's hand.
Dates of wagons, midnight crossings, graves upon the island sand.
Silas entered through the doorway and saw judgment in her eyes.
She said, "You knew where they had taken them."
He answered,
Yes, I lied.
I was scared they'd come and find you.
I was weak enough to bend,
I became the river's servant,
and the dead became my friends.
The river keeps no records, but the ferryman keeps count. Every secret gains a shadow, every silence gains an amount. Pay the ferryman a Dead Man's Bend,
Black coins underneath his tongue.
everybody cross the water. can drown 1,000 witnesses, but the water knows your soul. Eleanor rang the courthouse bell and read the names beneath the rain.
Every widow filled the square.
Every father brought his pain. Mayor Voss stood on the balcony with Sheriff Danner at his side.
He shouted, "That old man is guilty. He transported those who died."
Silas climbed the courthouse steps
with the ledger to his chest.
I carried every murdered worker.
I obeyed and failed the dead.
Voss gave orders, Danner killed them.
I concealed them in the ground.
I don't ask you for forgiveness.
I came here to tear it down.
Then the sheriff drew his pistol
and the courthouse windows broke.
Silas pushed his daughter sideways
as the square dissolved in smoke.
The bullet struck the ferryman,
but he stayed upon his feet.
He swung an iron river chain
and pulled Danner to the street.
Workers stormed the timber office.
Widows blocked the northern road.
Voss escaped toward the crossing
with the company payroll gold.
Eleanor chased him through the storm,
her father stumbling behind.
Voss reached the bridge above the river,
where he buried every crime.
He raised a gun toward Eleanor,
but Silas struck him from the side.
Both men crashed against a railing
as the flood began to rise.
Silas held the mayor's collar
while the rotten timber swayed.
Voss cried, "Save me and I'll make you rich."
Silas answered,
"You already paid." The bridge collapsed beneath them.
Black water swallowed wood and flame.
Eleanor reached out for her father,
but the river took both names.
At dawn, they opened up the island.
30 crosses faced the town.
Every family claimed a body.
Every company flag came down.
No more ferrymen in Dead Man's Bend.
No black coins beneath his tongue.
Everybody crossed the water,
but their funeral songs were sung. No more ferrymen in Dead Man's Bend.
Still the iron river rolls.
You can drown 1,000 witnesses,
but the water keeps their souls. No more ferrymen in Dead Man's Bend.
Silas paid the final toll.
He exposed the men who ruled the valley,
but confession could not make him whole.
No more ferrymen in Dead Man's Bend.
One lantern on the shore.
Eleanor carved every name above the old boathouse door. Black water under Dead Man's Bend, gray morning on the shore.
3 hollow knocks beneath the bridge,
then silence evermore. Dead trees over Cindervale, white bones beneath the roots. The orchard never carried fruit, but every spring it bloomed. Dr. Hollis came to Cindervale when fever swept the plain. He wore a silver watch and coat and promised life again. The mayor gave him county land behind the orphan home, where children without family were treated as his own. But every winter names went missing from the schoolhouse wall. Hollis claimed the fever mayor took them, no one questioned him at all. The mayor signed the burial papers, the pastor blessed the ground, and underneath the orchard trees no wooden crosses could be found. Every root can hold a secret, every branch can hide a lie. When a town protects a monster, innocence is left to die. In the bone orchard of Cindervale, the dead grow wide beneath the trees. Every branch becomes a witness, every root remembers screams. In the bone orchard of Cindervale, blackbirds circle through the rain. You can bury what you've broken, but the earth will speak again. Clara Wade returned that autumn with a photograph and ring. Her younger sister disappeared when Clara turned 16. She had searched through state house records, church reports, and county files. Every trail ended at Hollis, and the orphan hid behind. An old nurse named Rebecca met her underneath the mill. She carried bottles, blood-stained aprons, and a ledger from the hill. How sold the healthy children to rich families out of state. Those who fought or fell too sick were buried past the orchard gate. The mayor took a share in silence, the pastor changed each child's name. Rebecca signed the false reports and lived beneath the weight of shame. Every root can hold a secret, every branch can hide a lie. When a town protects a monster, innocence is left to die. In the bone orchard of Cindervale, the dead grow wide beneath the trees. Every branch becomes a witness, every root remembers screams. In the bone orchard of Cindervale, blackbirds circle through the rain. You can bury what you've broken, but the earth will speak again. Clara rang the chapel bell and dragged the ledger through the square. She read the names of 30 children, 30 families gathered there. Hollis watched from the orphan windows with the mayor at his side. He shouted, "That nurse is mad with guilt, her testimony is a lie." Rebecca stepped into the open. I prepared the graves at night. I obeyed because they threatened me. I helped them hide each life. Then Hollis raised a hunting rifle and fired down into the crowd. Rebecca fell beside the fountain. Every parent cried aloud. Clara led them through the orchard while the courthouse guards withdrew. Farmers carried ropes and lanterns. Every shovel struck the roots. They found buttons, rings, and lockets, small shoes buried in the clay. Then the mayor tried to flee before the people knew his name. Hollis barricaded himself inside the orphanage with flame. He poured oil across the hallways and called every child to blame. Clara entered through the smoke, her sister's photograph held tight. She found him near the eastern window, silver pistol shining white. He said, "Your sister fought the fever, there was nothing I could do." Clara showed him Hollis' ledger, "You sold her when she was 12. For 1 second, rage commanded that she end him where he stood. Then she heard the children outside and understood what vengeance would. She struck the pistol from his fingers, dragged him coughing through the door, but the burning roof collapsed before he crossed the orchard floor. In the bone orchard of Cindervale, the dead rose white beneath the trees. Every branch became a witness, every root revealed the deeds. In the bone orchard of Cindervale, blackbirds scattered from the flame. They had buried what they'd broken, but the earth returned each name. In the bone orchard of Cindervale, 30 crosses faced the dawn. Justice found the men responsible, but the stolen years were gone. In the orchard of Cindervale, Clara carved her sister stone. Truth destroyed the town's corruption. She rode away alone.